All right, we got NFL Week 3 picks against the spread. It starts right now. Now. Welcome to Sports Steady Live and GridironSteady here for NFL picks. We got our Week 3 picks. Now, last week was a complete shit show. You guys lost all your money. If you're still here back with us, if you have any money left after the disaster Week 2, we went 5-11 on the year. On the week. 5-11. That is not a good look. And I will say, I apologize in advance for failing you out there. Did you lose your house? Did you lose your car? Did the wife put you out? Did you have to spend nights on the couch this week because you lost all your money? I apologize. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, from the people here at GridironSteady, we apologize. We do. We really do. But it's not over yet, guys. It's only 2 weeks into the season, so we still have a lot of time to make up. As we went 5-11, we're now 13-19 overall, so we are below 500. We're below the mark that we want to be at. I always say we want to win at least 60% of the bets. That did not happen last week. So we will be back at it again. We still got another 15 more weeks to make up for the money that we lost. So let's get right to it. Now, some of these games, just to go over for a little recap, like the Green Bay Atlanta, right? This is why I hate these halves, and we got a lot of halves this week, so we might be in a bad spot again. The half games, the Green Bay and Atlanta 1.5. That was a 1-point game. All the half games pretty much. Now the big spreads did pan out. The big spreads that we picked, Buffalo 8.5 favorites. We got good on that one. We also 7.5 underdogs for the Rams. They came through for us. Even though at home, but a couple of them did not come through, like the Jets +9. They completely got smoked. That was our lock of the week. Dallas completely demolished them. And the New York Giants, 4-point favorites on the road against the Arizona Cardinals. They came back in the game, but they did not cover because they were trailing for most of the game. And Pittsburgh finally helped us out. They came through for us. +2.5, and there's another +2.5 again this week for Pittsburgh for the third week in a row. And so we'll get into that as well. So let's start off with Thursday Night Football, which is taking place tonight, if you're watching this now or later on. San Francisco 49ers are 10.5-point favorites. Now, last week, Philadelphia was 6-point favorites at home Thursday night, and they covered. So this week, we are 2-0 on Thursday nights. So we got that going for us. We are 2-0 on Thursday nights, guys. Philly in week 2 and Detroit in week 1. Both wins against the spread. And so we got week 3, we're going with another favorite this week. The San Francisco 49ers. Now, I was torn between these two. It took me a while to decide which way I was going to go with this because the 10.5, I'm kind of nervous on that because it's a big number. It's the second biggest number this week. I think the big one is the Chiefs. They have the largest favorite this week. And I'm a bit nervous about this. But San Francisco's been playing some good football. Giants suck. No, Saquon Barkley is going to be, I believe he's going to be out. So all the signs point to San Francisco blowing the doors off the Giants. And remember, the Giants had to come back last week as they struggled against the Arizona Cardinals. So you're looking at this game, you're like, well, they're going out to Santa Clara. They're still out. They haven't been back home in a couple of weeks because they was in Arizona and since week 1. So they've been out on the West Coast for a while now. So San Francisco has the edge here. But do they have a 10-point edge? Do they have a 10.5, 12-point edge? That's the question. I'm still not a big Brock Purdy guy or Purdy guy. But Saquon Barkley is going to be out. So the Giants' rushing attack is done. San Francisco definitely will win this game, without a doubt. The question is by how much. So we picked San Francisco tonight. 10.5, we giving San Francisco the edge. We giving them the edge. They didn't cover last week, right? They didn't cover last week, but they did cover in week 1 as favorites, but those spreads were lower. This is their largest point spread of the year at 10.5 as favorites. They've been favorites for 3 straight weeks. So we'll see what happens with that. So San Francisco and the 10.5, you take San Francisco 10.5 point favorites. You take that, you win some money. And remember, we're 2-0 on Thursday nights. So we're looking to go 3-0 on Thursday nights, as well as the 49ers looking to go 3-0 on the season. So that's that. Now, some nuggets to look out for here. Who we expect to do something. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's been unbelievable this year, averaging 6.3 yards per carry, and he's going up against the New York Giants rushing defense. They're 26 in the NFL, so McCaffrey's going to eat, as they say. He's going to feast on the New York Giants defense, rush defense tonight. He's going to feast on that pile of garbage that they call the New York Giants defense. Okay? So we fully expect that to go down. Fully. Without a doubt. Without a diggity doubt that the New York Giants will fall in this game. Now, here's my problem. I'm trying to pull up. Okay. So what I'm going to do instead, because this screen is freezing a bit, we're going to do one more, and then I'm going to just go to the screen. It'll be easier that way. Because I'm having a hard time loading up these picks. This is why I hate OBS sometimes. OBS gives me a hard time. But let's move on here to the Baltimore Ravens are at home hosting the Colts. Colts come in town. This is on Sunday now. The Ravens, who had a large point spread a few weeks ago, and they covered that easily against the Houston Texans at home in their home opener. Last week, they went into Cincinnati and got the win. So the Ravens are riding pretty well right now. They are 2-0, first in the AFC North, and they got the Colts. The Colts are coming in town. Now, I think the Colts are going to keep this game close. I don't know why, I just believe it. I think sometimes, I think Baltimore is an overrated 2-0 team, right? They've taken advantage of a very easy schedule, right? Houston at home, but then last week they took down Cincinnati, of a banged up Cincinnati team. Joe Burrow's having a lot of issues. The Bengals are a much better team than their record. So they've taken advantage. And look, it's the NFL. You take advantage of the wins and losses, right? We're not making excuses. Well, I'm kind of making excuses, but I'm not. Understanding that this is the NFL, but They got the Colts. I think this is a game that could sneak up on them, and the Ravens will win the game, but they won't cover the 7.5. They could win by 6. They could win by 7. But we're gonna give the Colts, take the Colts in the plus 7.5, and you may get lucky. You may get lucky, as we are hoping to get lucky. So, so that's that. Now, as I pull this up here, because we have to, I can't see this. All right. So, the Denver Donkeys, right? The Denver Donkeys. Let's see if I can do this. Maybe if I do that. I'm trying to get this up so I could properly get this on the screen without it screwing up, so everyone can see it. There we go. Boom. That might work. All right. Transition that. Denver Donkeys. The Donkeys heading to Miami to take on the Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins have played well this year. One of the best offenses statistically in football right now. They're flying pretty high in the first 2 weeks of the year. They're at home. The Denver Donkeys are 0-2. A bunch of 0-2 teams this week that need to win. This is a must-win for the Broncos, at least early on. And this is a must-win for them because if we're looking at the Broncos' schedule, as I'm pulling it up right here, this is not they got to go to Chicago next week, which they could probably win that. Then they got to host the Jets, which they can win that. So, but then they got Kansas City, Green Bay, and then Kansas City. So this is why I think this is an important game for Denver, because they need to get going. They got to win this game. Now, I don't think they're going to win, but they need to win this game because you got to start to get some momentum going. You got to get momentum because the division games are coming up. You got Kansas City twice in October. And in between that, you got Green Bay. So you win this game at Miami, you give yourself some confidence. Maybe you go into Chicago, you get that one, then you bring yourself back to 2-2. And then you got the Jets. Maybe you go 3-2, and then you confident 3-game win streak. When you headed to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs, you don't want to lose this game, go down 0-3, then potentially lose at Chicago 0-4, and then maybe you win against the Jets, and then now you're 1-4 headed to Kansas City. Would you rather be 1-4 headed to Kansas City or 3-2? So this game is important for the Denver Donkeys, in my opinion. So, but I think that the Dolphins are going to win this game. But they're not going to win by 6.5. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Denver's going to fight. And I fully expect the game to be under 6.5. I think you take Denver in the plus 6.5 this week. That will be our pick. So now you're probably wondering, why would I go against Miami, right? Number 1 total yards, number 1 pass. They pretty much got all the stats in their favor, right? But the defense is still shaky. I think that's an opportunity for Denver to be in the game, throwing the football with them. Third down conversion, 30th in the NFL. They give up third downs at 53% of the time. So these are opportunities that Denver can take advantage of, possibly. This is their first road game of the year. They're 0-2 at home. Denver needs to show that they can win games. And this is a good one to start with. Now, funny thing is, because I think we had Denver as a bad road team this year. Yeah, we did. So, in our predictions, we didn't have them playing well at all on the road. But here's an opportunity for them to win a game on the road or at least be competitive. So Denver +6, take it. All right, take it. Don't be scared. Put the house on it. Now next, the New England Patriots head out to MetLife to take on the New York Jets. Sucks. And both teams, Jets got a better record, so I know I just said they suck, but Patriots are 0-2, Jets 1-1. They're currently second. Patriots are last. Patriots are the favorites on the road. Jets look to end a 14-game losing streak against the Pats, and they hope to go 2-0 in the division without Aaron Rodgers. So this is a big game for the Jets. This game could put the Jets in a really good spot, especially in the division, because you want to win division games, right? Especially if you're struggling, division games are a key, and the Patriots are behind the 8-ball, losing to Miami last week. So they need to win this game too. I think this is a must-win for New England. If you ask me who need this game more, New England or the Jets, it's obviously New England because they're 0-2, and you do not want to go 0-2. You don't want to go down 0-2 in the division early in the season, right? You just don't want to do that, and that's what will happen. And the Jets, obviously, if they can get this win, they'll be in a prime good spot. Because who would have thought, 2-1, 2-0 in the division without Rodgers, 2-1 overall. That's a good spot for the Jets. So New England needs this game, guys. New England needs this game. And I see a lot of the people out there trying to justify how great New England's playing. New England's not great. They're not doing well. Mac Jones is leading the NFL in passing attempts. He's thrown 96 passes in 2 weeks. The Patriots cannot win with Mac Jones throwing 96 passes in 2 weeks. You're not going to win football games like that. I'm sorry. The Patriots, the way the Patriots is designed, is not designed for Mac Jones to throw the ball 40 plus times a game. Right? He threw 52 times against the Eagles. I think 40 something against the Miami team. He's 96 attempts because the Patriots have been trailing by double digits in the first half of both games. So New England needs to establish the run. And I don't know if they're going to be able to establish it on Sunday against the Jets, because the Jets, they have a pretty solid defense. Their defense is not bad. Their offense stinks. But their defense is not bad. It's just not. But New England's got opportunities here. Jets are New England's solid on third down. They've been okay, middle of the pack, 40%. They're 14th in the NFL so far this year. The defense could be a lot better, though, honestly. The defense could be a lot better. Now, I'm going to be honest here. They have went up against the Dolphins offense and the Eagles. So I think the defense, statistically, those numbers will get better over time because they went up against Dolphins and Eagles. Eagles, really good mobile quarterback, good receivers. Dolphins, good receivers. And I thought that, despite that, I thought the Patriots still played both of those games well, but they started off the games not great. They need to get a quick start here, establish the run, jump on the Jets early, and it's over. If the Patriots can get out in front and jump all over the Jets, this game will be done by the second quarter. That's my opinion. We haven't seen that yet. We need the Patriots to start off. They play well for 30 minutes, but NFL games are 60 minutes. You got to play well from the kickoff. I want to see something from the special teams. I want to see a big defensive stops, plays at key moments. I want to see the run game. I want to see Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott put on a running show. The Jets are 20th in the NFL in rush defense so far this year. So the Patriots have an opportunity to get the rushing going. They're only averaging 82 yards on the ground per game. I think they can get over 100 yards against the Jets potentially. So now there are some injuries. Potential Devontae Parker knee You got Marcus Jones, but the Jets got injuries too. They got Aaron Rodgers out, Brees Hall, potentially knee problems, and Quentin Williams, I think his name is. So both teams are banged up early on, so it's a wash, no excuses. The Patriots should go out and win this game. Get Hunter Henry the ball more, please. The guy's caught 11 catches of his 13 targets this year. He's a stud. Give him the ball. Get him the ball. Give him the ball. Use him. And Stevenson, you gotta rush better. 2.7 yards per carry is not gonna get it done in the NFL. You're not gonna win games like that. You gotta do more. And Mac cannot throw the ball 40 times. Mac needs to throw between 30 to 35 times a game. That's roughly where he needs to stay at for the pass to really be successful, in my opinion. With all this 96 attempts in 2 weeks, the guy's arm's gonna fall off before week 6. He's not a big thrower. Even if you're throwing those dunk 5-yard passes, they're still no. He needs to throw less. Get the run game going so you can be able to get that play action potentially going, and use the tight ends. Use the tight ends. All right? So, take the Patriots in the 2.5 on the road. They're going to win this. Bucket. And it will be 15 in a row against the JETS. Suck. 15 in a row. All right? 15 in a row. And plus, this is a must-win, guys. It is. Because if New England wants to make a bunch of 0-2 teams know that they need to make the playoffs because only 6 teams in NFL history have started the season 0-3 and have made the playoffs. And since 2002, only one team that has started the season 0-3 has made the playoffs. Only one team. And that was the Houston Texans back in 2018. And that's since 2002. So we're talking about almost 21 years. One team. So if you go 0-3, there's a good chance you will not make the playoffs. You won't. You're done. You're toast. So the Patriots, you got to win. And all you Patriot fans out there talking about, we got to shit tank and get that quarterback from Colorado. What? Stop it. There's no tanking going on here. All right? Stop it. Kid at Colorado ain't all that anyway. Got to play Colorado State and TCU. 2 games and you want to end up like Trey Lance again? Come on now. The Colorado quarterback right now, if you're drooling over that guy, look at Trey Lance. Okay, that should tell you everything you need to know about not overhyping college quarterbacks in week 2 of the NFL season. Slow the fuck down, guys. Slow the fuck down. Mac Jones will be fine. He just needs to win. So, let's move on to the next game. We got the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jaguars disappointed me last week. I'm not even going to lie to you. A little bit disappointed in Trevor Lawrence. I thought those guys, I know it was the Chiefs. I know it was going to be a hard game, but I thought that the Jags, I thought they would have had a chance there. They were at home. They were underdogs at home, but I said that the Jags, if they wanted to prove that they were a legitimate team, they needed to, they wanted to be taken seriously. They needed to win that game. And they struggled. Now, it's not the end of the world for Jacksonville, of course, but they should feast on the Texans this week. They should beat the Texans. They're 9-point favorites at home against the Texans. They need to blow the doors off the Texans just to get that confidence back up. Texans are terrible. They suck. They're trash. So the Texans need to take advantage of this. Okay? Take advantage and blow the doors off the Texans. Now, the Texans do come in with a 9th rank total yards. They're 5th in passing yards, but they're 29th in rushing yards. Jacksonville's offense is not looking great. They need to get better. Now, Houston, They played Baltimore and the Colts, right? Houston's 10th in third downs, 43%. I think Jacksonville needs to win this game. I mean, they need to. Trust me. If they lose this game, then I have no hope for Jacksonville of being an elite team. I really do. They need, not only do they need to win this game, they need to blow the doors. They need to win this game by double digits. For real. They really do. They need to come out at home and blow the doors off the Houston Texans. So take Jacksonville in 9, but they better win by like fucking 3 touchdowns. Like seriously, 2 to 3 touchdowns. At least 2. I got to see it. But take Jacksonville 9-point favorites. This is I'm thinking about making this the lock of the week. I really am. I haven't decided yet. I'm pretty close, but because the 9-point spread is, I don't really like using locks of the week of large point spreads, but I might just say it. Now, I might just say it. I am 0-2 on locks of the week, by the way, so take that for what it's worth. But yeah, take Jacksonville in the 9. Now, let's move on here. We got the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns. How about those Cleveland Browns? The Cleveland shits, as they call them. Both teams 1-1. This is an AFC North versus AFC South game. Tannehill, Watson, Jerome Ford for the Cleveland Browns from a fantasy standpoint. The guy did some big numbers last week on the season, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. That's the guy to keep an eye on. What will he do against the Tennessee Titans? Derrick Henry, will he bounce back? He's toe problems. Hopkins ankle problems. Nick Chubb is out, and Amari Cooper has a groin. So I know they signed the running back, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't Cleveland sign Kareem Hunt? I believe so. Maybe Ford will not get as many touches, but Ford has been playing well. I'm assuming he's going to be the featured back next week. As so NFL running backs, they want bigger contracts, but you're dropping like flies, dude. Why would a team give you bigger money when you're not going to be available? Is giving an NFL running back bigger contracts going to make them less likely to get hurt? Or is the conspiracy true around the NFL that guys are faking injuries because of contracts? I don't know. But if Jerome Ford keeps rushing, playing the way he's playing, would Cleveland even need to give Nick Chubb a big deal? See, how this would work is if the backup running backs who come in don't perform. But if these guys are performing, then you have no leverage, right? Like if Saquon's backup comes in this week against the 49ers tonight and he rushes for like 100 yards, Barkley loses leverage, right? If Jerome Ford continues to play well and rush for the Cleveland Browns, Chubb has no leverage. And same thing vice versa around the NFL. We've seen backups come in, second guys, and play well. So that's the leverage right there. Maybe tell those guys, hey man, don't go so hard. Like, don't rush for 100 yards now. Like, we trying to get paid. I'm being tongue in cheek here, but seriously. But okay, so back to this game. Browns and the Texans. Let me see. I like let me see. I like the Browns in the 3.5 here, and it's going to be, they're at home. Why not, right? These two teams are really nothing special about neither of these teams. The Browns do come in with the number 1 third down defense in football. So I guess that goes in their favor. And they give up the second best defense in points allowed and yards allowed. So they're very stingy with the yards. But they played Pittsburgh, and they've played Cincinnati, who's struggling. So this is it. This is it for the Cleveland Browns, 1-1. We'll see if they can win this game. Take the Browns and the plus 3.5. I mean, not plus 3.5, minus 3.5. Excuse me. All right, let's move on. We got the Atlanta Falcons. This game will be on Fox. The Atlanta Falcons. If I can get this. There you go. Atlanta Falcons head into Detroit, the Motor City, to take on the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are a 3-point favorites. So basically a pick 'em in the wise guys' eyes. Pick 'em here for the Detroit Lions. Detroit. So the D. Falcons are 2-0, folks. How about that? Now, we had the Falcons winning the NFC North South, so we're not shocked that the Falcons are leading right now. It just confirmed what we thought in the beginning of the season during our NFL preview. But the Detroit Lions, who last week had a tough, they were favorites at home by 4.5 against Seattle. That was a tough one in Seattle. That was a good game though, but it was a close game. So you're wondering, can the Falcons go 3-0? That's the question. They can go 3-0, and this Bijan Robinson kid, this rookie, averages 6.2 yards per carry, which is incredible. I mean, 6.2 yards per carry as a rookie. Jesus, that's amazing. And he's done it playing against Green Bay at home. And week 1 was what? Against Carolina. So, I mean, he's not the best of opponents, but 6.2 yards carry is still impressive regardless. Kansas City, not Detroit, excuse me, Atlanta, they going to go up against Detroit's top 5 yards, passing yards, top 5 total yards. So they're going to have to fight through that. Now, third downs are a problem for Atlanta so far. They are kind of at the bottom of the NFL. And Detroit, they're not great defending it, so it could be an opportunity for Detroit here, for Atlanta here. Atlanta 4th in the league in rushing yards so far this year. And Detroit has a 9th rank rushing defense. So the question is going to be, can Detroit stop the run? They stopped the run pretty well this year. Top 10 rushing defense. They gave up a lot of passing yards, but Atlanta doesn't really have much of a passing offense, as they are 28th in the NFL. So this is going to come down to Atlanta's rushing versus Detroit's defense, and Detroit has the edge there, right? They do, because the Falcons cannot keep up with Detroit's passing offense. But Atlanta does have the number 2 ranked passing defense. So this year. So we got a crisscross mismatch going on here, which means that this is going to be a close game and a good game. And this is basically going to come down to whoever executes better in the X's and O's. Now, you probably think, well, isn't that the case for every game, every team? Yes. But this one is different and special because you got a team that is really good defensively, or have been good defensively in the past game, but bad on the rushing game, and then vice versa for the other team, opposite. So it's kind of like a chess move. In that case, Detroit at home would give them the edge. 3-point favorites. Detroit Lions. You take Detroit, you win money. Now, let's get on to, we got to move quicker here because I got other stuff to do. Let's go to the New Orleans Saints. This is on Fox. The Saints and the Packers. Packers are 2-point favorites at home. Packers have been a surprise team to many so far this year. Saints are also pretty good, 2-0 on the year. But the Saints defense is pretty good, or have been pretty good so far. The Saints come in with a really good defense. I mean, third down defense, they're third in the NFL. And that fifth in points allowed, seventh in passing yards allowed, total yards fifth overall. This game, I mean, the Packers are dreadful across the board, at least statistically, but it's sometimes stats could be judged because it's only 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks later those numbers can shift. But I'm gonna give the Packers the edge here. I think the Packers win this game at home. They're 2-point favorites. Would I be shocked if the Saints won? No, but I'm taking the Packers. So take the Packers. Safe pick at home. Next, we got the Buffalo Bills and the Washington Commanders. Now, last week we thought the Bills would bounce back, and they did. They did. They came through. 8.5-point favorites last week. They covered that with no problem. This week they're 6.5-point favorites on the road at Washington. Take on the Commanders. So Commanders are 2-0. Did not see that coming. So how about that Eric Bieniemy's offense in Washington? And Ron Rivera got those guys playing pretty well. And Logan Thomas for the tight end for the Washington Commanders, concussion protocol. So he may not be available for this game, which is a loss for the Washington Commanders. Now the Commanders, despite being 2-0, have not really statistically are not looking that well. I think Buffalo can win this game outright. I think they can cover. I mean, Buffalo's defense is solid. Surprisingly, I thought they would struggle a bit. The offense is top 10 right now, statistically. They're 6th in third downs, which is always a key, as Washington's 8th in third down defense. So that could be a nice little back and forth. But Buffalo's way better offensively than Washington is defensively. So with that being said, I like the Bills here with the plus 6.5. I mean, with the minus 6.5. I keep saying that. Minus 6.5. Take Buffalo. You win money. All right. Poof. Next, we got two. This might be the game of the year of the week. Early on game of the week. This might be the most important game of the week for both teams. Like this is the game where both teams are in trouble. Both teams. Because both of these teams, the LA Chargers and the Minnesota Vikings, two teams that one of these teams' season could be over if they lose on Sunday. Now, look, it's only week 3. You're thinking season over after 3 weeks? How's that possible? Look, we knew the Vikings would not be a good team. So Vikings being 0-2 is not a big surprise. We had them coming back down. We tried to tell you guys that the Vikings will not be as good as last year. All those close games they won by less than one score, they got lucky. It just doesn't happen in the following season. Even a few years back with the Oakland Raiders, before they became Las Vegas Raiders, I think they won a bunch of games, close games, and they had a nice record. The following season, they struggled. I don't even think they made the playoffs. So that's what happens. When you win a bunch of games and you're looked at as, oh, look at this team, they're unbelievable. The Vikings were never as good as their record. They were not, and they didn't do much this offseason to shore things up, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So what I'm seeing here is while Kirk Cousins will continue to be good, he's been good this year. 708 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick, 114 QB rating, 64 for 88. He's been good. He's going to put up numbers. But the Vikings, on the other side of that, they're not going to step up. They're not going to win games. They're just not that good of a team. They're going to be in a lot of close games. Now, they're at home, so they do have the edge at home. But I like the LA Chargers only because this is a game that this is a more of a must-win for the Chargers than the Vikings, but both teams need to win. I think if the Chargers lose this game, they're in trouble. They're going to be in trouble. And the reason why I say that is because we're looking at the Chargers' schedule here, right? This is a team we had going 12-5, which is not going to happen now, obviously. But we have high hopes for them. Justin Herbert, and because if they lose this game, they go 0-3. They got Vegas following week. Now, they could probably beat Vegas at home, but what kind of morale is going to be in the locker room at 0-3? They could potentially lose that game. But let's just say if they win it. They're 1-3. They get the bye week. Then they got to go play Dallas on ESPN, and then the following week at Kansas City. That's another 2 games that they could lose. So the season will be unraveling at that point. If they go 0-4, say they somehow lose to Minnesota and Vegas, somebody's getting fired in the bye week. And then week 6 and 7, you got Dallas and Kansas City. Not looking good. So I think the Chargers need to win this game. This is a must-win for the Chargers if you haven't seen one. This is it. Now, both teams need to win if they want to have a chance to be in the playoffs. But if the Chargers lose, this is going to be bad. Somebody might get fired after this game. Austin Ekeler, their best player, one of their best offensive weapons. He has an ankle injury. He missed another practice today. He was sidelined. We don't know when he'll return. It could be. They thought he would be back by week 3, which was this game, but it's not looking good for the Chargers. It's really not. It's really not looking good. So I think we're going to take the Chargers. I don't know if Heckler plays or not, but I'm going to take the Chargers on the road. I think they understand that this is the season. This could be the season right here. So take the Chargers in a +1, and that's that. Next, Carolina Panthers head over to the Sea Chickens house to take on the Sea Chickens in Seattle. The Sea Chickens are 6-point favorites at the time of this video. We're using FoxSports.com's point spread. That's what we've been using all year. So we're going to stay fairly consistent on that. Now, obviously, if you look at other point spreads across, like the Score has 6.5 and other websites, but we're using FoxSports.com. Just so if you're curious on why your numbers are not matching. But if you're on a sports betting app, you can adjust the point spread yourself when you're betting. So, which is a pretty good feature. Geno Smith's been solid. I've been hating on Geno Smith. I'm not sold on him. I've been giving him a hard time. I thought the Sea Chickens made a mistake with the contract, but so far, at least last week, he stepped up. Carolina's looking for their first win of the year. They won't find it in Seattle because it's not going to happen. They'll keep searching. Maybe another week. This is an easy one, guys. Seattle and the 6 points. You take the Sea Chickens, and that's that. I mean, do we really have to review this game? That's nothing to talk about here. All right. Next, we got Chicago Bears and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs bounced back pretty big last week. Chiefs are at a big point spread here. Now, I was debating this one before I picked it because I didn't think. I hate these large point spreads. This is the biggest one of the year so far at 12.5 in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're giving 12.5 to the Bears. Now, the Bears, what happened? We had the Bears playing well this year. We thought the Bears would be a playoff team, or at least competing for a playoff spot. And right now they look very sluggish. But going into Kansas City, this is going to be bad. This could be a massacre. It really could. Kansas City look like they're getting ready to go on a roll, right? Like seriously, they look like they're about to go on a run. And you take Kansas City in the 12.5, guys. You just do it. Even if you're thinking about going Chicago because you just think, well, maybe I'll take Chicago and get lucky. You might get lucky, right? 12.5 is a crazy number because the Chiefs can win by 12. They can win by 10. Depends on what happened late in the game. Could the Bears get a late touchdown to close the gap of a game that's out of reach already? So a lot of that stuff can happen. But I guess it all depends on what happens early in the game. If the Chiefs go up like 21-0, then it's like, oh shit. It could be over. But take the Chiefs anyway, 12.5. All right. Let's go. Dallas Cowgirls and the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals surprisingly played a tough game last week. They gave the Giants a run for their money. I was like, what the heck happened there? I thought the Giants were going to go in there and win that game. They did win the game, but they made the Giants earn it. The Giants had to come back. Cardinals 0-2, though, on the season, and the Cowgirls are 2-0. Now, that line has jumped up to 13 in many places, but we still have 12.5, so it's basically 13 because 12.5, 13, same thing. Now, we got 12, excuse me, sorry. We got 12, but I've seen some lines that was like 13 and higher. Yeah, the Cowgirls. You guys, I'm going with the Cardinals in the 12. I think that the Cardinals are at home. They're going to play tough. They play the Giants tough. I know the Giants suck, but they seem like a team that's not going to quit. And I think the Cardinals will keep the game close. Cowboys will win the game, obviously, but I think they keep it manageable. I think they keep it close. So take the Cardinals in the plus 12. You win money. All right, next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the LA Raiders. The LV Raiders, excuse me. Los Wages Raiders. And the Raiders are 2.5-point favorites at home. Pittsburgh, we take Pittsburgh in the plus 2.5 for the third time in a row. That's what we're going to do again this week. I like the Steelers here to not only cover this, not only with the 2+2, I think they're going to win outright. I think Steelers will go into Vegas and get that W. So we'll see if that happens. Tampa Bay and the Philadelphia Eagles. How about Tampa this year? 2-0 for the Tampa Bay. These are two 2-0 teams going at it. Philly's the favorite, as they should be. They're 5-point favorites. Philly's a way better team, but the Eagles, but the Baker Mayfield has these Buccaneers playing really well. Kind of surprised. I thought that I said this, I think, a couple weeks back. I was like that Tampa should just shut it down and trade the receivers and get some assets. But it looks like they're going for it. So Tampa. Now, Devontae Smith has a hamstring issue for the Eagles, so we'll keep an eye on that. Hamstrings are a big deal, especially for wide receivers. So we'll see how that holds up. Also, I like the Philly here. Take Philly. And last but not least, the Monday night game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the LA Rams. This is a must-win for the Bengals, who are also 0-2. This is a must-win for the Bengals. Unfortunately, the Rams are going to be tough, but I think the Bengals will win this game. They know they got to win this game. If they don't, the season could be done before it even starts. These are the team that we picked to win the Super Bowl. To win the freaking Super Bowl. So you have to win this game, Cincinnati. You got to. You got to win. If they go 0-3, their chances of winning the division is down to 6% and 1% for the number 1 seed. So if they go 0-3, they still got a 1% chance to win the number 1 seed. But it looks like it won't happen. It won't happen. But we'll see. The Bengals need to step up and win this game. Just win it. Just get the win. All right? Right now, they're looking offensively at the bottom of the NFL. They can't get nothing going. So we'll see what happens. And this is an important game because they're already down 0-2 in the division. So they need to get a win. They need to get a win. So, and Joe Burrow, he's banged up, right? Calf injury. You gotta figure it out. You really do. Or your season's done. Figure it out or season's over. Or your season is over. Monday night game, everybody's gonna be watching. We'll see. Take the Bengals though. Take the Bengals. Take the Bengals. I'm still hoping the Bengals will turn it around. So, let's recap real quick on our 16 games. Who we got and who you should pick if you want to win big money. San Francisco Colts plus 7.5. Denver plus 6.5. Patriots, Jags, Browns, Detroit, Packers, Buffalo, Chargers plus 1. Seattle, Chiefs, Arizona plus 12. Steelers plus 2.5, Philly, and the Bengals. Those are the week 3 picks. And those picks are sponsored by SportsSteady TV. Go to SportsSteady TV on YouTube and like and subscribe to the channel. That is our sponsor for today's video. Shout out to SportsSteady TV for allowing us to be on their network. GridironSteady, SportsSteady TV. Thanks everyone for watching. Look, enjoy week 3. Hopefully we'll make some money. Okay? Drinks on me, guys. Drinks on me, everyone. Guys, ladies, cats, dogs, chickens. All right. Week 3 picks are in the books. Good luck to everyone out there. Hopefully we'll win some money. Sports page run by sports fans. Peace.